Good morning, guys. My name is Danny, and I will be giving you today's webinar. Today, I'm going to be talking about follow history. Remember that in order to have the follow history, you need to have the follow-up. And in other words, it would be only for professional and professional dialer products, okay? If you have any questions, doubts, you can always interrupt me, raise your hand, ask the question through the live chat, and I will gladly respond to it, okay? I'm going to go ahead and begin. Remember that when you're already signed in, it shows as account settings, not account sign in, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and click settings. Okay. I'm going to start off with doing the regular procedure through our search so that you know how to get the property in the follow-up. And then I'm going to use an example that I already have in my follow-up with some history in it, okay? So I'm going to make a random search in Broward 33325. I'm going to make it single family for sale with equal or greater than equal or less 350,000. I'm going to go ahead and make the search like that. Remember that when you're going to make a search, you can also use your managed search. You have some predetermined searches there that will be very useful for you. Okay, so I'm in my search, I'm in my results, and I'm going to go ahead and select, for example, this one has a listing price of $292, a market value of $267, and an active value of $265. Okay, I'm gonna use this one. Or I can either select it from here and add it into my follow-up, or I can click on the property and I can add it from here once I have analyzed in the overview, okay? Now I'm going to click on the follow-up icon. I can add it as buying, selling, prospecting, or listing. Remember that even if you click on any of the different buttons we have here, it's always going to add it into the same list. What makes a difference is that when you're going to filter, it's going to filter by the the follow type that you selected. Okay, so it's going to filter the properties that, for example, you added as selling, prospecting, listing, or buying. So I'm just going to click on buying. I'm going to add the property. And now I'm going into my follow-up. So in my follow-up, it's going to appear the property that I just added and the previous properties that I have. So I want to, since this one is a new one, let's just say that it's this property that I'm going to use as follow history. Although if you click on it and you click on follow history, you're not going to have anything because I just, of course, started following, right? But I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. And I do have some follow history, and I want to show you what you can do from there and what you can see. So I clicked on the address. It's going to give me the drop-down menu. And I'm going into follow history. Okay, from here, we have the main data of the property, like the address, the type of property, days on market, if it is for sale or if it was previously for sale. The name of the agent, in this case, it's me because I modified it. The type of status the property has, so this one is a non-active. And now this one, the square footage built in, the ReiFax value, and the listing price and offer price. Allow me just 1 second, please. Okay. The ReiFax value, the listing price, and the offer price. So remember that I previously sent this property a contract. So of course, the official offer price that I have in my follow-up, for example, this one, if I modify it here, let's say for 200,000. Once I modify it here, we see that it changed. I'm going to go back into my history and I'm going to reload over here. Well, it should change over here. Basically, if I open up, let's see, the follow history again. Okay, so it updated it here and it added the new history to this page. Okay, so over here, every movement that I have done with this property has been or is already registered in this tab. So for example, I changed the priority, new task, I created a new task, and it gives you the detail. So I sent a text message will be sent. Over here, it gives you a short preview of what the beginning of the text says. Who sent it? Why does it say task executed by? Task executed by? Because if you have some assistant accounts, it's going to tell you which assistant sent it, or if the main account sent it. Okay, and then of course the number and the date and time in which it was sent. Okay. In case you have any failed task, okay, so this overall history that you're going to see in this page. Now, if you want to break it down into pending tasks, you can also remember that if you create a task and you have it pending, it hasn't sent out, either manual or automatic, it's going to show up in the pending task tab. So in this page, you're going to see that. And then in the failed task, you're going to see the all the tasks that did fail for whatever error. Okay. When we ask you, and this is let's say a little aside from from what we're talking about. When we ask you, why did the message or the task fail? Because you have the doubt of, hey, Danny, or hey, agent, when you contact customer service, you say, why did my contract fail? Or why did my text message fail? When we ask you, what does the error message say? This is what we're looking for, this error message, okay? Where you can see this is directly in the task tab. When you go into a task and click failed task, let me load it for you. Okay, so over here, when you click view task, you're going to copy and paste this line in the live chat or email, wherever we're talking. This is the information we need to know so that we can respond to you why the task failed. In this case, this number that we have here, it failed because this number is not a real number. It's a Skype number. It's not a landline. I'm sorry, not a landline. It's not like a Verizon wireless number or a T-Mobile number or Cricket or none of that. Okay, so this is an online number and it's not going to send out to any of those. That's just aside from what we're talking about. Okay, going back into the history. So we have the failed tasks and then we have emails. Emails associated to this property, not directly to the agent. Okay, so let's say, for example, you you have in your follow-up several properties that have the same agent. Obviously, there's going to be several emails that are going to be from Danny Dominguez because you have several properties assigned to this agent, but it's only going to associate it to the follow history of that certain property, okay? And then from here, if you want to click on the email, you can also do so. And you go back and it's going to take you into your follow history. Do we have any questions up to now? Okay. And I guess I've been pretty clear. I'm going to go ahead and continue. You see up here the little icons while I scroll. Some have it, some don't. For example, when it's a document or when it's an email, you're going to see a view email or open email. When it's a task or any other type of, let's say, history, it's only going to have hide or create note. So if you add a note, you're going to add it directly into this, for example, I'm going to go ahead and create the note for this new offer price. So you see that it added the note to the actual task that I did here. So for this new offer price, I created the note of sample webinar and it added it directly here. Of course, you can add as many notes as you want, or if you just don't want to see this task or you see it's useless, you can just click on the little I and it's going to take it out of your history. Of course, you can always get it back. Okay, I'm going to show you where. And then you have the open email that it will take you directly into the email that you sent, either with the contract or just the regular email. Okay. Where do we see the task that I just hid? We're going into the show hidden history. Over here, you're going to view everything that you have hidden from your follow history. For example, it just, why do we have that? So that your follow history you don't see it so cluttered, okay? So, for example, I have a lot of useless things over here, like the failed task. I just don't want to see it here because we have it over here, right? So I can just click on the hide button to each one of the failed task and it's going to show it over here. You see the type of task, the schedule date. The type of filter is always going to be, of course, the little I because it's hidden. And if you want to show it, you can always click on this and it's going to keep adding them into your follow history again. Okay, do we have any questions so far? Okay, so we have the previous and next if you want to see the follow history of the previous property or the next property. If you did something else, for example, like I did in your follow-up or directly, not necessarily in your follow-up or directly in your follow history, you want to refresh, you don't have to refresh the whole browser. You can just click on reload. The filter. Okay, so the filter is sort of like the hidden history, but not exactly. Over here, what you're going to add or it's going to add everything, for example, that you click over here. I'm going to add just randomly. All of these tasks that I have in the follow history is going to delete them or take them out, filter them out of this, okay? of the actual follow history. Remember, if you want, of course, to see them again, you just have to click on the history and it will take them back. I'm just going to click save and it's going to take them back. That is what the filter works for. Then we have print follow-up. You can over here, it's going to create an additional PDF where you can right click, I think it is, and it's not actually going to open up for me because I don't have a printer assigned to this computer, but it's going to open up an additional PDF where you can right click and click print of the history that you have here. Maybe this could be useful for when you have several assistants so that you have your records, your different necessities, we can say. Then you have contact. In contact, you don't have to go to your follow-up or directly into your contacts tab to modify or to actually view. If you want to modify over here, your contact or add a new information, let's say you spoke with the agent or with the owner and you want to modify it here, you don't have to go into any of the other tabs. You can do it directly from the follow-up history by clicking edit. If you want to make it a different default or principal contact inside this same sheet, you can always click on the little star and it will make it your principal. Why is it important, the principal? And this is a little off of what we're talking about because it's going to modify it in this page. Over here in the contact column, you're going to see only principal contacts. So let's say that you want to send it. In this case, we have the agent. Let's say you want to send a text message to the owner. It's not going to send it. You have Tommy, the agent, as the default or principal contact. It's going to send a text message to Tommy. You want to put Radel Tampa as the owner, principal, okay, contact, so that it's actually sent the text message to this person. It's just an example, okay? Now, going back into what we're talking about, if you want to delete a contact, you can also do so from here, okay? Now I'm going to put back into my default so that I don't send any offers to this agent. Okay. Now, if you want to add a regular note into the actual follow history, like not into a particular task, but to your regular follow history, you can do so as well. For example, and is interested in the offer. I'm just going to click save and it's going to add that note. There you go. So it's going to see who executed the note or who actually created the note. It shouldn't be executed. And then it's going to tell you the actual note, that's what it says, and the type of task. Okay? From here, you can schedule a task as well. If you want to remember, if you want to go in deeper in how to schedule or create tasks, you can always view our other webinars. I'm going to just go over it not thoroughly, okay? You can create the task over here. Remember that when it's automatic, you're going to only have these options, but when it's manual, you're going to have much more, okay? Let's say that automatically I would just want to send an SMS on Monday at 8. And I'm going to go ahead and create. So from here, like I said, the point is that you can create your task without just going out of the tab where you're at, okay? Of course, from here, you're going to see it created the task and it's going to show here. There we go. Okay, so now I can see it in my full task tab, but I can also see it in my pending task. Of course, you cannot delete any tasks. This is very important. We've had many issues with, for example, mainly with clients who are users who have assistant accounts. So they delete accidentally their follow history, or they used to, because we used to have the feature of deleting it, but it created so much problems that we had to eliminate it, and now we have the hidden history. It's much easier because it's always going to be in your follow history, okay? You can't delete your history. So from here, what you can do is just print or export. That's basically what you can do. Can't delete or do anything official, let's say. Okay. Going back into the history tab, we already went through the filter, hidden history, print, contact, add note. We created a task. You can send also an email directly from here. Remember, these are all the same procedures as in the overview or in the follow-up. Mainly in the follow-up, because in the follow-up is where we have the email, text message, fax, and calling icons, okay? From here, you can also send the email. It's, remember, the same procedure. The text message feature, always make sure, so you see what I was telling you, it's going to send only to the default. Always make sure that your contact, if you're going to send a text message, make sure that your contact has these numbers as cell. Why do I say this? Because even if they're not, because maybe let's say our data providers have the wrong tag for it, and we import it as with the same tag that they have it. For example, they add this number as an office number and it's really a cell number. Remember that I told you that it's only going to be sent to cell phones. So you have better chances that it will send out if you have it under cell. These are for people who actually or who need the feature of text message. I would make sure that you have all your contacts under cell. Okay, I'm gonna close that. Then we have the fax. If you have an online fax provider assigned to your account, you can always set it up in settings. Okay. Then we have the docs. Send docs. It's going to take you to the same window as in your follow-up. You can select your contract and send out your contract directly from the follow history. Oh, it closed. And then we have the call icon. From the call icon, you can make your call directly from here. It's going to tell you which contact to call. If you have the agent and if you have the owner number, you can also call them, selecting the contact type. Okay? Or just click on the principal if you don't know if they have any other contacts. And make a call directly from there. Okay? And then we have the legend. Why is a legend here? Because this is what it's going to read to us. What type of property or under what status is this property? So I added it as buying, and then this property is not active, so it's a non-active buying property. Guys, do we have any questions up to now? Or do you have any particular part or question about the system, not necessarily what we're talking about? so that I can go over it. Okay, good. So I'm just going to go thoroughly through the follow-up so that we can see, because we have finished with the follow history. So the follow history, like I said, globally is where you're going to have everything that you've done with the property, everything. It cannot be deleted. So if you're worried that if you have assistants and they might delete it accidentally, let's say, the follow history, no, that's not possible. If it's not here, it's going to be in the hidden history or with the filters. Remember, make sure to check the filters and the actual hidden history. Now let's go into the follow-up and there and see the different columns that we have here. In the history, or in the follow-up, we have added a few columns different from what we had before. For those old users that we have the numbers. Why are the numbers here? Because we now have a map view. With the map view by numbers. Let's let it load a sec so that you can see that it has, okay. You see the numbers, those numbers assigned are the numbers on the first column. Either way, it helps you identify the number of properties that you have in your follow-up as well. Then you have the email column. If you have an email from a specific property, it's going to show here. For example, in this property, I have an email. And if I click on the one, it's going to take me directly into the email that I have not read for that property. Okay. Then we have the pending task tab. Those are the properties that I have a pending task for. So for this one in particular, I have 2 pending tasks. And for this one, I only have 1. For the rest, I don't have any. Has mailing campaign. So the properties that have a little mailbox, those properties I have added into my mailing campaign. So, or to any of the mailing campaigns that I have created. This is, I guess, to just keep track of what properties you have here and there. And then you have the deal generator column. It means that if you have this property added to your deal generator follow-up, okay? Then we have the follow-up status, the follow-up date. What date did you add it into your follow-up? These columns are important because you can use a filter for it. For example, I want to see only properties that I have added on April 2nd. And it's going to filter, of course, the properties that I only added that day, because we have many properties and it's really difficult to search for one by one just by address. Okay. Then we have the follow property address, the zip code, days on market. Remember, the days on market are going to show if the property is inactive. It means that if the property was sold previously, or is under contract, or if it's actually for sale. If it has a foreclosure status, N for no, P for pre-foreclosure, and I think I do have an F. Okay, and F for foreclosure. Okay. Oh no, it's only going to show the first letter. And then you have the contact. We already talked about the contact. Remember that the contact that is going to show is the principal contact, the one that you put the star on. Of the offer percentage, when you select the property, let's say, for example, this one, and you have calculated the offer, you're going to put an offer factor over here, and that is the percentage that it's going to represent over here. Under what percentage did you calculate the offer? Okay. Then you have the listing price. Remember, the listing price is only going to show for properties that were previously sold and that and properties that are active for sale. Then you have the offer price, properties that you have made an offer on, the counter offer. Okay, I really like talking about these two columns because it's really important that you know. The offer column is the one that is going to show you when you create a contract, it has a variable of offer price, right? That offer price is grabbed from this column. If you put a counter offer and you think that adding the counter offer over here is going to be modified on your contract, you're wrong. It may be modified if you have added a variable, but it's not going to calculate it eliminating, for example, I might not have explained that very well, but I'm going to show you. Okay. I'm going to show you the variable very quick. So you know that we calculate the offer price minus the initial deposit, the additional deposit, and it's going to calculate it on its own with the balance to close, right? So if you add, for example, a counter offer in the counter offer column in your follow-up, it's not going to be modified over here. You have to actually put in the counter offer in the offer column. So in this actual column, of course, if you want it as a reference to add the counter offer over here, you can do it, but it's not going to modify it in your contract, okay? And it is going to do it. What it is going to do is add it to your follow history. So let's say that you don't want to modify it here because you're going to lose your old offer. No, you're always going to have all the modifications that you've done on this property in your follow history. Then you have your last update, the days of last insert history, for example. This one, I modified it or I added it or I did something with this property 29 days ago, okay? And then we have the green dots. The green dots is to let you know that you've sent or not sent contract, proof of funds, earnest money deposit, any additional document like addendums, or offer received. This offer received icon, you can modify it manually. And it's going to mark it now. But this one is manually. It's not going to automatically change it for you. And then if you want to change a property into high priority, medium, or low, you can just click once and it's going to give you the other two options apart from the one that you have showed. Guys, do we have any questions for what we've seen today? I guess it's been pretty clear to or what I've explained today, a little overview of the follow-up and a full explanation of the follow history. Now remember, if you have any questions or doubts at any moment or any issue inconvenient with the system, you can always click at the bottom left and clicking on the live chat. If we're online from Monday to Friday from 9 to 6 p.m., we're always going to respond. But if it's out of office hours, you can always leave a message here and we will contact you once any of us is in the office, okay? You can also call us at our main number. You will see the contact in our main page in ReiFax.com, and you can click company, contact us. You will see the numbers here through the live chat, and you can also send us a regular email, okay, at reifax@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching today. Stay tuned for our next webinars every Friday at 10 a.m. Stay safe at home, guys. Thank you once again. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.